Claude is the least fun to party with. Claude is cleaning up the red Solo cups.
Grok agrees with you on the point about Claude. We have Claude would end the night early, I think, is the headline point here. All right. I think we're live.
Welcome to Washed Up. This is a show, program, if you will, where we query 4 leading AI models, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, and we use the Cergai software tool, which we both built, to try and understand where they agree or disagree. Each week or each episode, we are going to be debating a different topic. Could vary from sports to pop culture or tech itself. I want to introduce my co-host, Mr. Austin Burgess. Burgie, how we doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Excited to be here. Excited to be debating some topics. You ready to jump into this one?
Well, yeah, what are we talking about?
We got a fun one. We asked Cergai today, if ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Grok were all humans, who would be the most fun to party with? And out the gate, they pretty much all agree that Grok would be the most fun to party with. And I'm going to go ahead and hand that back to you. We've got a bunch of experience with Cergai at this point. What would you say to that?
You wouldn't say perplexity.
Perplexity is adjusting to every situation. That's a fair point.
Yeah. Perplexity's at home doing its homework. That's kind of where I stand out. But for these ones, the ones that we asked it about, I'm actually going to disagree with this. All right? I think that ChatGPT would be the most fun to party with. Allow you to say your answer, and then we can try and have a little conversation about why.
Okay. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on this one. I'm going with Grok. I think that would have been my guess before I even searched this question. But let's jump into it. You know what? I'm glad I disagree. I'm ready to prove you wrong.
I think if you look at these points, that it really looks at Grok as a party animal.
It's looking great for me.
And I think that's fine. If you want someone who's trashed, someone who's saying unhinged shit, fine, you can take Grok. I feel like ChatGPT is the all-around stud, willing to host sometimes, willing to adapt and make it a good time for you, has a little bit of affirmation bias, and that's fine. It wants you to have a good time. Grok, I think, is unhinged, and sometimes that could rub me the wrong way. How do you feel about something like that?
I respect that. To that, I'd say I'm here to have a little bit of an unhinged time. That's just how I like to get down, I think. So I think maybe Grok's the kind of guy, I show up, I meet, I don't know him, but he makes me feel welcome. He has flavor. He's not a guy that I forget when I end my night. ChatGPT is a great dude. Everybody knows him. You know what? He's probably at the door shaking your hand. It's the first guy you meet, first model most people probably interacted with. I can understand where you're going there, but... Yeah. Am I going to remember ChatGPT, or am I going to remember the guy that, you know what, Bill's Mafia style jumped and broke the table and he was just life of the party? I think I'm going with Grok there.
Yeah, and I can't disagree with that. I actually can't. I think Grok is the party animal, but most fun to party with, like who's my ride or die? I could go out every night with ChatGPT, and that's not to say who am I going to use the most. I'm not trying to make some sort of analogous situation here.
Getting meta.
Like Claude is the least fun to party with. Claude is cleaning up the red Solo cups. Claude is trying to make sure that nobody gets in trouble. But I like ChatGPT. That's my ride or die.
Grok agrees with you on the point about Claude. We have Claude would end the night early, I think, is the headline point here. We can jump into Grok a little bit just to see it. But, yeah, I think Claude does a great job. The model is definitely reflective of Anthropic's mission for safety and guardrails. And I think personified, yeah, we do see that person who's DDing, making sure everybody's getting home, calling the Ubers, being responsible. And you know what? Let me give Claude some love. I think there's a space for somebody like that at every party. So it might not be the person I'm pre-gaming with, but am I happy to have that person there, kind of like dad of the party? Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's a time and place for any of these tools. I think that's exactly why you and I got into this in the first place, is embracing that. If I asked it, which AI model do I want to do my homework, I might tell you something different. But look, I want to show you something concerning. Go into the sources for a second.
Sure.
Go to the Ars Technica article. I don't like that. Do I think it's indicative of Grok? I don't know. But I feel like Grok is the guy who's going to get in trouble.
I think you bring up a great point. This is problematic. Okay, dream scenario. I'm setting up my dream party of these personified AIs. Grok's a guy I meet at the party, maybe. I meet at the pregame. Not the guy that has my phone number and he thinks he can call me personally. Yeah. I think that's how I would keep Grok a little bit at arm's distance for the party.
Yeah, no, look. Yeah. Grok's willing to push the limits, and I admire that. That's fine. But if Grok hosts a party, the cops might get called, but everyone remembers it as one of the more fun, legendary nights of their life. I think that ChatGPT is, to me, the ride or die, and that's why I'm standing on that. So with all this being said, final answer, what are you taking?
You know, you made some good points. I almost want to say you swung me. I almost do, Pete. But I'm going to stick with Grok. But to be specific, I'm meeting Grok out. I just happened to meet him. He's a good dude. He had a good time. I remember him. That's my final answer. You standing by GBT?
Look, I want to party with Grok. It's a must-have for the next 10 years. I want to be with ChatGPT. I'm going out. So, I mean, this was a lot of fun. I think we'll be doing this again. Episodes every week. You can sign up in the comments, give us question suggestions, and otherwise we'll look forward to another showing of the Washed Up podcast.
We will be back. Until then, go to Cergai.com. Run it yourself. We'll be here.
Let's do it.